Today, thank you. Our Toastmaster of the day, who I believe will have his video open in no time. Our Toastmaster of the day today is Brian Otiende from Diplo Speak Toastmasters Club in Area 6. He also serves as the area director for that region. He will currently also be pursuing to coach WFP, who I believe are their neighbors just across the wall. So let me introduce Brian. Who is Brian? Brian is a founder of Elevate Coaching and Consulting Associates. He's a dynamic leader dedicated to nurturing people and nurture for prosperity, posterity, and piety. He's a natural capital specialist, certified leadership and team coach, Maxwell Leadership Team, and a Toastmasters International member. He exemplifies his leadership philosophy and values through relationships, responsibility, resilience, results, faith, and family. Kindly let us put our hands together to invite to the podium our Toastmaster of the evening, Brian Otiende. Over to you, Brian.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mwikali Mwango. And I commend you for taking up the responsibility as the presiding officer for Business Dialogue Toastmasters meeting number 67. As the SA has said, we have just boarded flight BD67. Destination? It's up to you. I will be your captain, but you know exactly what destination you want to get to. This evening is my pleasure to serve as your Toastmaster of the day. And my role is very simple. It's to guide these meetings, deliberations, from now until when we come to a conclusion. We intend to conclude our meeting at 7:45 p.m. And my role will be to make sure that we transition through the various meeting segments smoothly. So at this point, I'd like to encourage you or request you to make sure that you're belted up and you're seated upright for takeoff. Within no time, I will be introducing my cabin crew, who are the tag team, and they shall be letting us know what their roles would be. Our meeting is going to have 3 segments. The first segment is the prepared speeches. And this evening, we are privileged to have what I would call a keynote speech. You're going to have an interesting speech. It's going to be only one speech that we'll be having this evening. Please look out for that. We shall then move on to the second segment, which is the table topics. And at table topics, we'll give an opportunity to as many of us as possible, both guests and Toastmasters, to respond to impromptu questions. Thereafter, we shall get into an evaluation segment. And in Toastmasters, we feed on feedback. At this point, let me begin by introducing the tag team. And I just learned recently that tag team actually is just not tag, but it stands for T for timer. So our timer will be coming up first, our timekeeper, and then our R counter, that's the A, and then the general evaluator and our grammarian will follow in that suit. And that's our tag team. Without much ado, let me now call upon Toastmaster Joe, who will be taking up the timekeeper's responsibility. Joe, kindly take a minute to introduce what your role will be this evening.
TMOD, allow me to just converse with you. I can see Toastmaster Irene has joined and she was our timer. Toastmaster Irene. Toastmaster Irene, are you ready to proceed or do we proceed with you? Okay. She seems to have dropped off again. Thank you very much, TMOD. As we take off on this flight, my work as timer today will be to time the table topics, speakers, the formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote the specific times remaining. For example, during the table topics speeches, at 1 minute, I shall flash the green card. At 1.5 minutes, I shall flash the yellow or amber card to indicate that you have 30 seconds left. And at 2 minutes, I shall flash the red card to indicate that your time is up. That is for the table topic speakers. We only have one prepared speech today. At 16 minutes, I shall flash the green card. At 17 minutes, the amber or yellow, and at 18 minutes, the red cards. For the evaluations, you have 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will flash the green card. At 2.5 minutes, the amber or yellow or orange, depending on your eyesight. And at 3 minutes, I shall flash the red card. I wish you an enjoyable session as our pilot takes us away to lands here and beyond. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joe. And before I let you go, Toastmaster Joe, I'd like you to give us your reflection on the theme question, which is, what is that one thing that you do to motivate your teams to succeed? What is that one thing that you keep doing to motivate your teams to succeed?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. I should have known that table topics was going to start with me. I guess I have less than 2 minutes. I strongly believe that when I have a team and I am working with them, I role model for them whatever results or outcome I would like to see. But more importantly than that is walk with them the journey. Be with them in the trenches. Walk with them each step of the way. I believe that by modeling and by walking with them, then they can see the outcome is not as far or as hard to achieve as they had conceived. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joe. I would most gladly love to be part of your team because I know I will not walk alone. At this point, let me take the opportunity to invite our next role taker, and that is our R counter. Our R counter is Toastmaster George Maura. Toastmaster George Maura, before you introduce what your role will be, kindly let us know what is that one thing you do to motivate your teams to success. Over to you, Toastmaster Maura.
Thank you, Toastmaster Brian TMOD of the day. I don't have a team currently, but in case I get one in the future, what I would do to motivate them would probably to give them an incentive or a reward for good work or promise the same. I know when you promise people something, they have hope and they can give their all. So it's my pleasure to be your account of the day. Have you ever asked yourself why it doesn't feel right when you hear somebody speaking and then they have those sounds like or they keep saying, you know what I mean? The reason why it doesn't sound right, it's because it is not right. So my role as an R counter is to listen to filler sounds and words that are repeated or used inappropriately while speaking that most people use as a crutch, and as they try to mask their nervousness or try to fill that silence when they are thinking of something to say next. So I'll be noting all this down, and examples of what I'll be looking for is for filler sounds, there is the and then there are people who use post fillers, words that they say like, you know what I mean, or as I was saying. And then for the repeated words, there is a caveat because sometimes we may repeat a word for emphasis or just to enhance your delivery when you're speaking. So when I'm looking for repeated words, I will look for words that you say like, as I was saying, then you pause and then you say, as I was saying, without any change in your voice or as a means to enhance your speech. At the tail end of the meeting, during the reporting session, I will give my report and then I will share how this role helps us to improve ourselves. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mwaura. If you belong to business dialogues, I would highly recommend you get into the EXCO team so that you can gain some experience on leading teams. And next, our next role taker is our grammarian. Our grammarian is Toastmaster Maureen Muturi. This is what Toastmaster Maureen Muturi responded by saying, she normally appreciates and praises her team for their talents and the successes that they keep achieving. While she's doing this, she's also challenging them to be more and better. Toastmaster Maureen, kindly take a minute to introduce your role.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Our fellow Toastmasters and guests, men and women of grit. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. And for today's word of the day is grit. The meaning is strength of mind, great courage, and fearlessness, fortitude. Example in a sentence, it takes one to have grit to be a distinguished Toastmaster. Being an entrepreneur requires grit. So for any of the guests, if you see us snapping our fingers when we say the word of the day, let's do it, everyone on camera. It just acknowledges that we have used the word of the day. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day, and I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting and also report on usage of the word of the day. Looking forward to see some people with grit. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Amazing. Thank you so much, our grammarian, Toastmaster Maureen. I sure need all the grit that I can get towards my journey to becoming a distinguished Toastmaster. And now that I've made it public, I know you're going to hold me accountable to my desires. Our next and final role taker this evening is our general evaluator. Our general evaluator is Toastmaster Peter Gishui. Toastmaster Peter Gishui, kindly take a minute to introduce what your role entails and also share with us how you motivate your teams for success. What is that one thing that you do to keep them motivated? Over to you, Toastmaster Peter.
Thank you, Brian. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Good evening, Toastmaster Peter.
Evening to you.
Okay, now my role will be general evaluator, and I will be evaluating everything that happens from the start up to the end. So at the end of this meeting, I'll come up with a detailed report. By profession, I am ISO auditor, so I'll give a very professional report because this is what I do on day-to-day basis. And something that I can do to motivate my team, I believe in setting goals. And once you set goal and you achieve that goal, there's supposed to be a reward. Thank you. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Peter, for always inspiring your teams to set goals. And I'm sure once you achieve your goal, you feel the satisfaction and over and above the rewards that come with it. Thank you so much. At this point, I'd like to share just a few reflections on the theme for today. Our theme is inspiring SMEs, small and medium enterprises, for success. What struck me about this theme that I was given, it wasn't my choice, are two words: the inspiration and the success. And on the inspiration, I asked myself, what is the difference between inspiration and motivation? Can somebody let me know what the difference is between inspiration and motivation? You can type on the chat. Mr. SA, kindly assist to monitor the chat, but you could also get some grit and unmute yourself and answer that question.
TMOD, the
Difference?
grammarian has gotten grit and her hand is up. So I think we give her an opportunity to respond.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Madam Grammarian.
So for me, it came from a personal side where I changed from being called a motivational speaker to an inspirational speaker for this one reason. Motivation, you come, you feel the inspiration, and that's it. You go home and you have been gotten from point A to point B, but you do nothing about it. But being inspiration means you move people to action, and therefore that's the difference between motivation and inspiration.
Thank you so much for that very deep response. For me, I say that inspiration comes from within. You can only inspire yourself to take the action that we've just been told about. While as motivation is a function of external factors. I could be here this evening to motivate you. I'm an external factor. However, you can only draw inspiration from deep down within yourself. There's a book called Success to Significance. It's written by Lloyd Webb. Success to Significance basically states or explores the issue when the pursuit of success isn't enough. It shows that if you focus on significance, that is, using your time, using your resources, using your talent to serve others, that is when the true meaning of success can come your way. In short, success is what I can become. If I have to transition from being successful, I have to start investing in other people. As business people, as entrepreneurs, you produce goods, services that serve other people. And therefore, you are just not successful. You are on your way to becoming significant if you are already not significant. That is my reflection on the theme of our day. And at this point, without much ado, it is my privilege and pleasure to bring on stage our first speaker. And as you remember, I said this is going to be a keynote speech. You will get to understand why I'm terming it as a keynote speech. Our first speaker is Joseph Kimoto. Toastmaster Joseph Kimoto is going to be introduced by her evaluator, who is Toastmaster Bethlehem Nesibu. Bethlehem Nesibu comes to us all the way from Ethiopia. She belongs to 2 Toastmasters clubs. Amazing. A round of applause to Toastmaster Bethlehem. Toastmaster Bethlehem responded by saying the following. This is the one thing that she does to keep her team inspired towards success. She maintains transparent communication to build trust and to ensure that everybody feels heard and included. Over to you, Toastmaster Bethlehem, to tell us what is the purpose of Toastmaster Joseph's speech and how much time he has for her speech. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. TMOD. My sincere apologies for not turning on my camera because the place I am right now is not convenient for me. Back to our speaker. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing a speaker who embodies true grace, because Toastmaster Joseph will deliver a speech that has a keynote style. The purpose of his speech is for him to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. The title of his speech is Discovering the Entrepreneurial Bastions. Toastmaster Joseph Kimoto, Discovering the Entrepreneurial Bastions.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Bethlehem, for the introduction. Toastmasters and guests, good evening. How many among us have started an enterprise or are running an enterprise, whether it is surviving or growing? That woman and man of grit who took a chance, the opportunity to start an enterprise. Please just go to your chart and kindly tell us, what kind of an enterprise did you start? Is it surviving? Is it growing? Or did it suffer some death? Let us know. I just want to highlight some few statistics about entrepreneurship. I'm so passionate about entrepreneurship because it is a widespread and a very dynamic activity across the globe, across societies, and over time that has transformed societies and made some of the moving parts of our societies move. Just reflect on this. About 100 million new enterprises are started every year across the globe. 100 million. That means 3 million each month are started. across diverse sectors, across various regions. And today in the world, there are about 600 million entrepreneurs, about 7.4% of the world's population. And just take this, 12% of adults in the working age have been involved in one way or another in running a new business. 12%. So as you type in, you can place yourself. Are you among the 12%? Those men and women who have really taken that task of starting up a business? Now, here comes some more statistics. The survival rate of startups after 5 years is approximated to be approximately 25% to 35% in the sub-Saharan Africa. And globally, around 20% of new businesses fail within the first year. 50% fail within 5 years. And therefore, that gives an average survival rate of businesses after 5 years to be 50%. So, about your business, just a little bit about your business. Does it fall among the 50%? Where does it fall? The most critical thing, though, right now, is to reflect on the successes. And I'm so happy our Toastmaster of the day has talked about success to significance. And significance in this case, we can talk about success of your enterprise. And a question we often ask ourselves is, where does the success of entrepreneurship or enterprises reside at? Where? What are the pillars? What are the foundational elements that support and drive success in an entrepreneurial venture? In some reflection, I can tell about some skills, strategies, motivation to build and sustain successful businesses. I reflect about innovation. I reflect about risk-taking. I reflect about leadership that we are talking about today. I reflect about vision. And I reflect about adaptability, because today the world has a lot of challenges that take a business from point A to point B in terms of challenges and how to go about them. Now, I remember very well about my first enterprise, the first known enterprise, because I also know that sometimes we conduct entrepreneurial activities without our knowledge. I was a loaf dealer in high school. I was solving a problem of hunger by the boys in my high school, those who did not have enough in the dining hall. And I was also solving a problem of satisfaction, because bread was such a beautiful item to consume those days. These days, I'm not such a consumer, but that was my business. So I could buy in bulk from the canteen during the day, and during the night, the boys would serve the loaves of bread. I could make 1 to 2 shillings per quarter of a bread. And that was able to sustain some of the needs that I had on my financial end. Now, I will also share with you today some of the lessons that I've learned out of starting and experiencing enterprise, running an enterprise. I have learned over time. Every time I have put my hands into an enterprise, I have started, I have failed, I have succeeded in some, but I keep learning. They have helped me to discover the bastion of entrepreneurship. I want to highlight some of the lessons I've learned. mindset. The mindset. The entrepreneurial mindset is a way of thinking that embraces ambiguity, seizing opportunities, and not shying away from challenges. I exploited the challenges and the opportunities with the boys with my love dealing my love dealing business. And it is not strictly about business entrepreneurship. Mindset is that can be applied to various areas of life, including personal growth, career development, and problem solving. Now you see where the root of success can come from, the mindset connected to problem solving, because enterprises that are founded on problem solving have a higher probability of survival. Richard Branson solidifies this by saying, you don't learn to walk by following rules. You learn by doing and falling over. Being focused with a clear mindset on your personal growth, career development, problem solving. The entrepreneurial mindset is again not just about launching startups, that you have a mindset of launching an enterprise after another or pioneering new industry. It is characterized by a distinct set of qualities that can transform the way you approach various aspects of life. So it is embedded in life. Foremost among these, Toastmasters and guests, is the ability to recognize and seize those opportunities, a trait that is linked to innovation and creativity at the back of your mind. How innovative were you in your idea, your business idea? How creative were you? It means spotting potentials where others see impossibility. Those with an entrepreneurial mindset are often forward thinkers, constantly envisioning what could be rather than being limited by what currently is. One of my challenges that I have had is waiting for the right time and not going for the challenges. And I've seen successful people going for the challenge of starting off, taking off in business, even with just some resources, because their mindset is so focused, seeing possibilities. I sometimes have seen impossibilities in terms of capital, in terms of people, in terms of the opportunity. Those who are successful, those who have the right mindset, are the type to shake up the status quo and introduce new concepts or even fresh perspectives. Is your mindset set for an enterprise? An entrepreneur that is successful? Do you embrace challenges? Do you foster creativity and innovation? Do you set clear and achievable goals that you go for and set your mind on? Do you have the financial acumen to go for that and committing to lifelong goals and learning? Fail, wake up. I have learned a lot from my love dealing business. And with this, I just reflect of some successful people that we can learn from. Just think about James Mwangi of Equity Group and how he started with a very small bank in Murang'a, transforming the business into now one of the pioneer banks in Africa. Think about Vimal Shah, starting from a tailoring shop somewhere in Thika and building the empire that is Bidco Oil today, and has even diversified into other sectors and other products. Think about Manu Chadaria. Think about Richard Branson, men and women of grit. Which other entrepreneur can you relate with that you see they have really a great set mindset? I would like to take this from you kindly. Just let us know which entrepreneur rings into your mind when we talk about mindset. Somebody who is clear about long life learning and achieving goals. Kindly let me know. You can unmute. You can unmute and give me the name. Come on, Toastmasters. Anthony Robbins, George Maura, thank you very much. Anthony Robbins, of which company?
He's
Any
a
other
motivational
entrepreneur?
speaker.
Sorry?
He's a motivational speaker. I assume that is his line of business, motivation.
Yes. Earning from speaking. It's a business. It's a business model. Mark Zuckerberg. Thank you very much, Catherine. Thank you very much, Catherine Karaoke, as well, Mary Okello of McKinney Schools. We definitely have quite a number of people we can relate with and we can think about when we talk about mindset. Now, Toastmasters and guests, a vision without a plan is just a dream. That mindset might be there, but if we do not have the actualization of that dream, that vision, then it's just tragedy. Allow me then to introduce my second point on the issue of mission. Having a mission is critical to successful entrepreneurship. With a vision and a plan and the execution of the same, success is possible. There are some insightful words by a gentleman called Joel Baker, which encapsulate the essence of entrepreneurial success in the dynamic landscape of entrepreneurship. He says that vision serves as a guiding North Star, illuminating the path to success. Vision serves as your guiding North Star, illuminating the path to success. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you out on a mission? Do you have a purpose that led you to start that business, that sustains the business? And therefore, in the dynamic realm entrepreneurship, vision serves as a guiding light, shaping every essence of your venture, giving you a reason to wake up every day. And it is just more than a goal. It is an attainable image that you create, whatever you aspire your business to achieve, and gives you the positive influence every day to conquer the world, to conquer that marketplace. The vision is your compass, steering decisions and infusing motivation, not just to yourself, but also to the team. It goes beyond the boardroom, captivating both customers and even investors with the promise of something extraordinary. Purpose. Just consider Elon Musk, this visionary man. We read on Twitter every day and we see a dreamer. They said that he could not buy Twitter. He now has it. It is X. He's the mind behind SpaceX. Going into space for him is like having an Uber ride. His vision extends far beyond the realm of rockets and payloads. He's transforming every sector of our economies. He conquered the self-driven, electric-driven vehicles. Now he's into space, into communication now. From the innovation of reusable rockets to the grand ambition of colonizing Mars. Who can dream of that? He's a man on a mission. Toastmasters and guests, I started a business way back in 2019. I had taken a trip to my village to say hi to my parents. As I was heading home, I met our member of county assembly, and he asked me, Joseph, you have supported me all this time. I have not had a chance to give you a favor. And right now there's some work that I know. It's about putting up some culverts along the road that leads you home. I would like to give you a contract around that. So I did not have a construction company. But it was on a Saturday when I came back to Nairobi. My first mission was to register a construction company, which I did register and got some of the certifications very, very fast because I had to use some people and I had to make this happen. I bid for the job and I got the job. After concluding the job and making my money, Wamwega Contractors has been so idle. It has not won any other contract. Neither have I really pursued. But what the story of Wamwega Contractors teaches me and reminds me is the story of purpose. It is not a business that I had really purposed to get into construction, but it is an opportunity that I came and put myself into the task of coming up with a company and running one. Today, I have to deal with matters of tax because I still must remain compliant and keeping my business compliant. But hopefully, one day I will set my eyes on Wamwega and it will run. But lessons yet to learn. So beyond the entrepreneur and the team, the vision is the spark that ignites the entire entrepreneurial journey. Toastmasters and guests, it goes beyond just that boardroom and the thoughts that we have. And in the words of Benjamin Disraeli, he says, the secret of success is constancy of purpose. Constancy of purpose. Do you have purpose? Is your business driven by purpose? Finally, on my third point, Toastmasters and guests, is a subject that I really love because it is so significant. It is about me. It is what that brings a cake to me every day because it also creates jobs. When I meet entrepreneurs day after day, one of the questions they ask, where is the money? Joe Mukoko, are you there? Where is the money? Where do we follow the money? Who has the money? Money. Money is at the heart of every business. You can call it finance as well. Because after all, no business can operate effectively without money. That is why it is the heart. And at the heart of every successful enterprise lies a well-oiled financial machinery. You want to go for success? You want significance? There must be some well-oiled financial machinery. So I support businesses to access finance from the various needs that they have, or for the various needs that they have. Money, when you talk about money, you talk about liquidity. Because liquidity ensures the business can meet its short-term obligations, even long-term obligations. It can pay its employees, invest in necessary growth opportunities, We talk of investment in assets, in paying for operations, and liquidity to finance the trade, everyday trade. Every day, we need money. So therefore, the strategies like capital raising, maintaining a cash reserve, leveraging credit, going for investments, and having a clear understanding of the operational cycles to manage liquidity go a long way in ensuring stability of the business and ensuring its success. Without adequate cash flow, which I have faced in most of my enterprises, and I'm unable to take a bigger cake, JW Smart Ventures, way back in 2022, I got a number of LPOs to supply a certain customer. I could not be able to handle. I had to run to a bank, but the bank could not give me enough. And I had to call some friends to come in and work with me. So without adequate cash flow, a business can come to a grinding halt or chew just a little that it can bite. Toastmasters and guests, making informed investment decisions requires understanding of the business, current financial health, projected returns on investment, and potential risks involved. Because again, you must protect the money, the investment. I have suffered again from a challenge, being too conservative. I want to see money in the bank and not really putting it into the productive effort. And I'm learning this each and every day. Holding that money means missed opportunities. But again, I'm keen not to be reckless, because if I overextend, I will end up in financial distress. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, entrepreneurs must recognize when and where to invest for growth, when to bring the money to the business. And this could be in form of investing in technology, you could be hiring new talent, you could be expanding to new markets, or even acquiring new businesses. Money. You have the money to drive your business. Those are the three key pillars that I would talk of being necessary towards success for an enterprise. There are, of course, other factors. To complete my 5 M's of mindset, measure, money, would be marketing, because you have to consider market, and management, because resources and the business have to really be managed. Entrepreneurs must continuously cultivate these pillars, what I can call the bastions of successful enterprise, to navigate the challenges, seize those opportunities, and turn ideas into reality. And understanding and mastering these core pillars, these core bastions, enables you as an entrepreneur to create value, inspire change, remember mission, vision, and contribute to economic growth and societal growth. We can do this together. We can transform the world through enterprise, create those jobs, pay those taxes that will be used well to improve our business environment, and generate wealth for us and generations to the future. So, do you ask yourself, why entrepreneurship? It's also a good moment to think about, why did I start? And how sustainability can be brought into my business. I hope that my points on mindset, measure, and money speak to the sustainability of business, bringing change and improving the quality life that we aspire. Thank you very much, and over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Wow. That deserves a standing ovation. Toastmasters, guests, ladies and gentlemen, kindly let's applaud Toastmaster Joseph for giving us such wisdom. This has been amazing. Joseph, I feel like asking you how much this costs when you give such a keynote out there in the marketplace. I would be willing to pay for such kind of information and inspiration. Very well done. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of things that I want to highlight as we give our evaluator time to process this keynote speech. It's been a long speech, and most likely she would need a bit of time just to put her thoughts together. I'm going to share some of the things that I've heard from this talk that have reminded me of some of the things that I've read. I have been employed for as long as I've been working, and that is over 15 years. And I used to struggle. When will I ever set out to start my business? And I want to ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters. If you are employed in an organization, do you consider yourself as a business person? If you're trading your services to an organization as an employee, do you consider yourself as a business person or simply an employee? Listen to this. There's a book written by Rabbi Daniel Lapin. The title of this book caught my attention. It's titled Business Secrets from the Bible. Business Secrets from the Bible, not from the bank. And this is what he says in that book, that specialization and exchange are the foundation for God's plan for human economic integration. I will repeat. Specialization and exchange. Think about specialization as you utilizing your talent and exchanging, you trading. He says that those two are the foundation for God's plan for human economic interaction. So even God had a plan for us to be able to engage. Another point that he raises that struck my attention, and I want to pose it as a question. Is money making a spiritual activity? Think about it. Is money making? Joseph has just concluded by telling us money is amongst the 5 M's that he considers as critical ingredients and elements to be a successful entrepreneur. Where is the money? We are all trying to find the money. We are in the rat race trying to find and follow the money. Is money making a spiritual activity? And this is what he says. How do you identify a spiritual activity? He says, if you go to a national park or a zoo and you see a chimpanzee, if the chimpanzee can understand what you are doing, or if what you are doing can be replicated by a machine. That would give you the answer to whether you think money is a spiritual activity or not. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters, at this point, I'm going to wear and transition to a new or a different role. They say in Toastmasters that a Toastmaster wears many hats, several hats. I am impressed by Toastmaster Joe Mukoko, who is our SAA for tonight, but he also picked up a responsibility when we started by taking up the responsibility of the timer. In this next segment, I will be your topics master. Topics master. And the session is table topics. I'm going to formulate and pose a couple of questions to random speakers. I will begin by Toastmasters, and hopefully I will also reach out to some of our guests to be able to speak. And the first speaker is going to be none other than Toastmaster Tracy Mamo. Toastmaster Tracy Mamo, are you in the house? Can you hear us?
Good evening, I'm here.
Amazing. Thank you for being here. Toastmaster Tracy, this is your question. How have you used talents that God has given you to translate them into treasures? How have you used talents that God has given you to translate them into treasures? Over to you, Toastmaster Tracy.
This question reminds me of one of the parables that govern my life, and that is the parable of the talents. Everyone is given a talent, 5, 2, and 1. And it's up to you to do whatever you want to do with them. Now, what perplexed me about this parable is that the first two, the 5 and the 2, immediately took their talents and went to the marketplace and traded with it. And that always got me a bit perplexed. I do not fall in the immediately category. I am in the category of, aha, it is a talent. Is it gold? Is it silver? If I put gold here, how many silvers come out? And these silvers, can they give me copper? And then what is the maths? By the time I figure out my maths, the 5 perhaps has 7. And that's okay. It's okay. As I have gone through life and figured out my talents, one for speaking, another for counseling, the temptation is to believe that as you trade your talents, you should perhaps only receive monetary returns. Now, some of the returns I have grown to appreciate is the messages I get by, you touched a piece of my heart somewhere. You told me I could do this, and look, I have done it. Remember that one thing you told me that one time? Look, this is what I did. This is what I've done. It has grown. Now, granted, I don't know if I have 5 or 2 or 1 talent, but I'm sure I did not hide it. Well, I unearthed it somehow from within me. And though I do not have the gold silvers to show you, these are my returns, these are my treasures. My gold has given birth to silvers, has given birth to coppers. And I sit here very, very happy to tell you that my let me say my two talents are at least yielding, like the parable, 100 returns. Back to you, Mr. TMOD, come table topics master.
Very well done, Toastmaster Tracy. What do I hear from you? Amazing how you reference the parable of the talents. And actually, it was in my notes. It is from Matthew 25:14 to verse 30. The parable of the talents. One was given 5, another 2, and another 1. And you go ahead to tell us that whatever you do with your talent, it's up to you. It's your business. You tell us that you have discovered 2 of your talents, speaking and counseling, that are already beginning to give you rewards. And these rewards might not even be silver or gold, but just that word of encouragement of what you said that lifted somebody's spirit. Very well done, Toastmaster Tracy Momo. Amazing. We shall move on to the next speaker. Our keynote speaker talked about purpose. There's a book I have read by Rick Warren. It is called The Purpose-Driven Life. The Purpose-Driven Life. In that book, let me first identify who this question is going to be directed to. Is there anyone who wants to volunteer? I've already started giving you an indication of where I'm going. The question is on purpose. Any volunteer? Okay. Catherine Karaoke. I believe Catherine Karaoke is a coach and is in our midst. Catherine, this is directed at you. In his book, Purpose-Driven Life, Rick Warren talks about identifying your shape. When you identify your shape, it helps you to discover your purpose. And he says that shape is an acronym of the following: S, spirituality; H, your heart's desire; A, abilities that you have; P is your personality; and E is the sum total of the experiences that you have gone through. Toastmaster Catherine, can you tell us, how did you come to discover and connect with your purpose? How did you discover and come to connect with your purpose?
Wow, very heavy question. I had to reflect on where I was going. Having reached, like you reach to a crossroad and you sort of find yourself unfulfilled. And you feel that you're not connecting with yourself and you feel you're not connecting with the people around you. And you sort of feel purposeless. I think using what you have said, the shape, the S was spiritually. I can say it's something that has been in me, but I think when you're overcome by, let's say, death happening, so to me was the loss of a child. So that was my turning point in a way. And I felt I needed to do more. I needed to reconnect. So I started following up with the word. I needed also like to change church because I said I needed to understand the Bible better. I needed to reconnect with people who are actually connected to the word. When it comes to the H, what was the H?
Your heart's desire.
Oh, my heart desire. My heart desire has always been to see the best in people. So I'm always encouraging people to do more. And always are finding out from themselves, what have you done in terms of either it's your business, yourself as an individual, yourself as whatever space you are in, what else are you doing more? And that helps me to connect with people very quickly. When it comes to the A, what was the A? You came in when I was doing something, I won't say what. So what was the A?
Thank you. I think the time is up. You've done amazing.
Okay.
I will allow you to pause at that point so that I take one other question. Very well done.
Okay, thank you too.
Toastmaster Catherine, and sincere condolences for the pain that you had to go through to lose a child. However, you say that it helped you to reflect on the journey that you are on, and you transitioned from being a purposeless person to somebody who has purpose. And you also say that your heart's desire is to transform and change the lives of people. That is very powerful. And actually, that is what we have said this evening. That is transitioning from being the successful Catherine that you are to the significant Catherine that is and will be. Thank you very much for that response. Finally, and let me find a guest. Do we have a guest? SA Joe, kindly assist me by nominating a guest for the next question.
Thank you, TMOD. I am checking for guests. I can see we have Job Courier.
Okay, thank you. Job, do you have the grit to take on this question?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
Amazing, amazing. I like that. In the book, Developing the Leader Within You by John C. Maxwell, that is one of the leaders that I hold in high esteem. And he is one of my mentors as a coach. In his book, he talks about understanding the evaluation question, okay? The evaluation question. Toastmaster Courier, this is the question to you. How do you know that you are serving your people better? How do you know that you're serving your people better?
Thank you, Table Topics Master, and good evening, business dialogues. Is it dialogues or dialoguers? Grammarian. I have done a voluntary leadership project last year, 2023, 2024, as a club president. And I think leading volunteers requires a lot of patience and humility. What made me realize that I'm serving people is managing to raise a club that had been suspended for the year 2022, 2023 due to membership and some corporate stuff, but we brought it together. What I learned was success doesn't come overnight, but I could see growth in the few people that we were serving with. Someone completed 3 levels in just one Toastmasters year. I saw that I kept the members together. So whatever made me realize that I was serving is the results. Even though they were not in gold or silver, I realized that I was serving. And I learned so much. I discovered so many things in myself. I was given the 360 degrees evaluation feedback, and I realized that I'm very impatient, and I'm also someone who is very concerned when it comes to other people's well-being and growth, especially. So most of the time, I was pushing members to get out of their comfort zone, to do what needs to be done, to realize their potential. And luckily, most of the members were cooperating, and those were the results that I saw, which made me realize that I was serving people. Yeah, that is it. And back to you, Table Topics Master.
Amazing. Well done, Toastmaster Job Courier. What a way to respond to that evaluation question. And I like the fact that you have brought in your experience completing a project on leading in a volunteer organization while you are serving in this amazing volunteer organization of Toastmasters in your position as a club president. I commend you for that. I also like the fact that you have said that growth it takes time. It's gradual. Growth is gradual. And success does not come overnight. So it calls for a great deal of grit and patience to attain your results. Thank you so much for that amazing response. And maybe before I transition, Job, are you currently a Toastmaster? Are you a visiting Toastmaster?
Yes, I am a visiting Toastmasters from Kericho Gold Toastmasters Club. I'm speaking from Mombasa.
Amazing. Please pass my very warm regards to your Madam President, Janet Cherop. Let her know
Yes.
We were very glad to have you in this meeting. Thank you so much.
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Now, I take on my TMOD hat back. Ladies and gentlemen, we now want to get into the evaluation session. And I want to call upon our general evaluator. Our general evaluator is Toastmaster Peter. Toastmaster Peter Gishui, I will give you an opportunity to do this session in segments. First, just to introduce the first evaluator who is going to give us feedback on our keynote speaker's speech. And then we'll take a pause and I will invite another keynote speaker who has just appeared to give us a brief tip session, whom I will be introducing after the evaluation segment. Allow me to break protocol and have the evaluation segment in 2 pieces. So Toastmaster Peter, kindly take over and introduce the evaluator who will give us feedback on Toastmaster Joe's keynote speech. And then I'll take it up from there. Over to you.
Thank you, the TMOD. Please allow me to welcome evaluator who will evaluate the prepared speech.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. It's indeed my pleasure to evaluate Toastmaster Joseph Kimoto's speech. I hope I'm not butchering your name. The boy who used to sell loaves of bread to his boys. Toastmaster Joseph, I feel like you delivered a well-organized and inspirational speech that truly engaged the audience. I personally appreciated how you tried to involve us in this virtual session, and you succeeded by motivating everyone to share their thoughts in the comments. And I feel like that, and my favorite part was you allowing us to unmute and speak. Added a personal touch. I also feel like your opening was captivating because you started with a thought-provoking question using numbers, because my profession is engineering. I love numbers. So when you tell us numbers, this is the facts, you know, that gives us a clear idea of the entrepreneurial world. And another favorite part of mine from your speech was when you incorporated the word of the day, because I feel like that highlighted your speech beautifully. So I want to say, Toastmaster Joseph, great job. And you really has shown us that with grit, we can not only overcome obstacles, but also inspire those around us. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know what a keynote speech looks like from a Toastmaster, I feel like he showed us. Now, again, we're Toastmasters. That was a near perfect speech, but what are the things you may want to work on? First, your time management. You spoke for 25 minutes, while the maximum allotted time was 22 minutes. The essay was showing you the red screen. So as this was a longer Toastmasters speech, using your time effectively would enhance your delivery. And another point to consider will be positioning your camera to ensure that your face remains fully visible, because at some point your face was like this. I mean, my hair is, I have an afro, and you can't see half of my hair. So you were like this, even though you don't have an afro because you're a man. So maybe those are the things you may want to work on. So, you know, to challenge yourself, I really, really loved your speech. I wish I was not your evaluator. I wish I had the chance to just immerse myself in your speech and share your wisdom. So my challenge for you would be to deliver as many speeches as possible and share your valuable insights, your valuable wisdom with us. That's it, General Evaluator. Back to you.
Okay.
Thank you, Bethlehem. So over to you, TMOD.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Evaluator Bethlehem, for that amazing feedback to our keynote speaker, Toastmaster Joseph. And thank you to General Evaluator Peter. I'll be getting back to you in a short while. Let me allow the Sergeant at Arms to put up the poll for the better table topic speaker. We are only going to have one ballot, and that is for the better table topic speaker. Toastmaster Joe, kindly take the next 30 seconds to a minute to run the poll.
Can you hear me, TMOD?
Loud and clear. Take it away.
Thank you. I am launching the poll. Thank you to all the table topic speakers. They showed a lot of grit and delivered their speeches with grit. And the room is full of grit. Good. We had 3 table topic speakers, Tracy Mamu, Catherine Karaoke, and Job Korea. Toastmasters and guests, let us vote. Okay, we can do better. We have been fed the 5 M's of money and told about the books to read. Thank you so much. Brian, it's always a pleasure being with you in the same room. Today is like I was in a mini class. Greet, greet, greet. Okay, we can do better. Almost there, Toastmasters. Let's do this. Oh, yes, we are almost there. Counting down and handing it back to TMOD in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you all for voting. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joe Mukoko, also serving as our very able and dedicated SAA. It's also my absolute pleasure to spend this evening with you and all of you Toastmasters and guests. At this point, I'm going now to introduce Area Director Lena Muturi. Lena Muturi is currently serving as Area Director for Area 7 in Division B. And Lena Muturi is a member of Karen Toastmasters Club. I describe Lena as the elegant and the eloquent speaker. Lena will be motivating us, not inspiring us, motivating us, because inspiration comes from within ourselves. Lena will be sharing with us a tip session entitled Elevated Evaluations. Elevated Evaluations, Lena Muturi, over to you. You've got 10 minutes to give us your tip session.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests and members of Business Dialogues and other Toastmasters in the room. It's my absolute pleasure to join you this evening to deliver this tip session. I must say that I am shortchanged by TMOD and Eddie Bryan because he promised me 15 minutes. And now I just have 10. All right, let's see how the session goes. So like I said, my name is Lena Muturi. I am a Karenite. I am currently serving as AD. I have been a Toastmaster for 5 years. In Matters Evaluation, I participated in evaluation contest in 2021 up to division level. And last year to this year, up to district level, upon which I was the first runners-up. And I think that a little bit qualifies me to deliver today's tip session. I want to commence by asking a question, and I would like that you indulge me in the chat. I must also say that Brian hijacked me this evening after seeing me deliver this tip session yesterday at Karen Toastmasters. I know President Triza Mungai was there yesterday, hopefully. And I also see Evaluator Bethlehem, who was a contestant with me as well this year. And it's a pleasure to be in this space together. So I'll start with a few questions. How many of us feel that evaluations give them a bit of jitters? If evaluations give you a bit of jitters, indulge me in the chat. Let me know as well, what exactly about evaluations gives you the jitters? And finally, what you've been evaluating for a while, what is it exactly that you feel you kind of need to get a grasp on? If you could indulge me for a bit, I will appreciate that. Anything that you fear specific about evaluations, what makes you, gives you so many, I see you there, I say, hey, Joe, so many jitters. What in specific, if anyone can indulge me, anything in specific, and hopefully as I run through my presentation, I can be able to do that. So allow me to share my screen. All right. TMOD Brian, confirm you can see my screen?
All good.
All right, amazing. Okay, I'll start by asking the question, why do we evaluate? Why is Toastmasters keen about evaluations? And I will say Toastmasters is keen about evaluations on 3 fronts. One, for the evaluator. What do they learn? They learn active listening skills, because to evaluate, you need to hear what your speaker said. You learn how to speak impromptu. Evaluations are another version of table topics, right? Number 3, critical thinking, the ability to analyze what the speaker has said, in 5 to 7 minutes and squeeze that in a 2 to 3 minute evaluation. Number 4, providing feedback and motivating your speaker. In instances where you find a speaker either was stammering, forgot their speech, on stage, they couldn't remember their speech, as an evaluator, one of your roles is to motivate them. For the speaker to get feedback so that they can grow. Remember, we are all in Toastmasters to grow. So as a speaker, you learn how to leverage on your strength and to improve on the areas highlighted. And finally, for the audience, as a speaker as well, to build and maintain your self-esteem, even in the instances where you feel you didn't do as well as you did. And finally, for the audience is to learn from the evaluations. So that's why we evaluate. And the questions are, where do we evaluate? We evaluate at club meetings and at contests. And there are a few differences between the 2 evaluations. At club meetings, objectives are very clear. At a contest, they're not clear per se. And as an evaluator, you need to determine the purpose of the speech. At a club meeting, you know the speaker prior, and you probably even have their evaluation form. In a contest, there is a surprise test speaker, and it is advised that the speaker, the test speaker, is not a member of your club. And finally, at a club meeting, the best evaluator is determined by a poll. At a contest, the winner is decided by a panel of judges anonymously based on a judging criteria. I'll be looking at that shortly. So we've done why we evaluate and where we evaluate. If you ask to evaluate, the first question you should always ask yourself is, what am I evaluating? Right? So I'm getting into the what. And what we evaluate is the content, the delivery, and the language. In content, we're looking at what is the purpose of a speech. Toastmasters has 4 clear purposes: to inform, inspire, entertain, and to persuade. And in content as well, you're looking at the structure of a speech, the introduction, the body, the conclusion. Delivery, you're focused on the techniques that a speaker uses to communicate the message, and the language, we're looking at the appropriateness of communication. I'd like to delve a little bit into each of these segments. So I'll start with the content. On content, you're looking at structure of the speech in terms of the number 1, the opening. How did your speaker open the speech? It could be a joke, an anecdote, a quote, a rhetorical question, a staggering statistic, and even the speech title. I like to see how a speaker weaves in their speech title to the rest of the speech. And as an evaluator, that's something we should be looking out for. In the body, how have they structured their points? Toastmasters is keen on the triad, that is the 3 main points, and how easily the points were flowing in the speech. How were they able to do the transitions? We prefer when the transitions are done firstly, secondly, thirdly, or in the beginning, consequently, therefore, in addition to. How does a speaker transition their speech? Some other devices that they could use that are part of the body, or part of the content, that make their speech more effective are humor, dialogue, vivid imagery or description, and a personal story. These are some items that weave into the content. And finally, the conclusion. Did the speaker summarize their points? And did they have a call to action? A call to action is something that motivates the audience to take immediate action. So that encompasses the content. And then we go to the delivery. You're looking out for the gestures. And yes, it's gestures, not gestures. Facial expressions, how they use the stage, non-verbal communication, eye contact, vocal variety, poses, props. All these are things to look out for when it comes to delivery. And finally, the voice. And finally, the language. You're looking for pronunciation. And at this point, I want to quip in and say we say evaluations and not evaluations. You're not a general evaluator, you're a general evaluator. Timothy Brad, I can see you smiling there. So pronunciation, jargon. When you deliver a technical speech, you need to be able to break it down in a way that the audience understands it, right? And finally, grammar. How do they use the wordplay, similes, metaphors, idioms, and the like? And they must be relevant to the speech being delivered. Okay, so we've done the why we evaluate, the where we evaluate, the what we evaluate, and now we can come into the meat of the matter. How do we evaluate? And how? You start with looking at the analytical content. Look at the specific strengths of a speaker. I liked your opening. Highlight the things that you liked about the opening and how the opening drew in the audience. The specific weaknesses. You used your hands too much. You were pacing on the screen. And give examples on, if you point out that their voice could have gone higher or lower, point out specific sections. When you are celebrating, we wanted to hear your voice go up, right? And also what we call the what, how, and why, which I shall handle in a bit. In terms of the recommendations, which is the next thing, is again, specific, giving examples. And here they must be actionable. The speaker must be able to use them, which means they must be practical, they must be helpful, they must be positive, they must be sensitive and sympathetic, and they must inspire and encourage the speaker. If a speaker delivers a speech for the first time in your club, let them not feel that they cannot come back, that they are motivated to go on to the next speech, that Toastmasters is the safe environment that we say it is. And again, the what, the how, the why, we'll delve into it. And finally, one key thing when you evaluate, never forget to summarize. This summary in an evaluation contest is worth 15 points. Make sure it's very concise. Do not include new material into your summary. Just summarize what you've said before. And again, allow it to be positive and encouraging. I have attached a snippet of what the evaluation judges usually look out for, which is similar to what I've presented. Analytical quality, 40 marks. The recommendations, 30. The technique, 15. And the summation, 15. So the strategy is commend, recommend, commend, which we like to call the sandwich method. And then finally, we look at the meat of it, the actual technique. I like to advise people when you evaluate a speech, try and incorporate what the speaker talked about for memorability and in order to connect with your audience. So for example, if the speech was about hiking, talk about rising to the summit, taking the speech to the next level. I can't wait to see you on Mount Everest. This is just Kilimanjaro. If the speech was about food, here's a recipe for you to add spice to your savory speech, right? And now what, how, why? What, how, why is one of the most important things you can do in Toastmasters. Identify the what. You say the speech had instances or bucket loads of humor. The how, when they talked about this, they said this, which did 1, 2, 3 for the audience. So that is when you put the why. That we include humor in a speech to make it memorable, to engage the audience. Humor is a tool that cements your message. So the why is always important because the audience needs to go home with something. I know I'm running out of time, Brian, but allow me to finish. you've heard me talk about sympathetic. What does sympathetic mean? It's avoiding words such as you could have, you should have, you needed to, you must, it was wrong to, we did not. You are not the spokesman of the audience. So make it personal and talk about I observed, I noticed, I saw, I heard, I felt. If you ever find yourself in a situation you're evaluating someone who's probably a seasoned Toastmaster, remember the rules remain the same. I saw, I heard, I felt, what, how, why, with examples. And therefore you say, I recommend, I suggest, you could consider, how about, an area you can enhance is 1, 2, 3. In terms of the recommendations, give 2 or 3 recommendations, 2 or 3 recommendations, and again, give a summary. And ensure that you include a point on content and delivery. So as you pick on areas of improvement, it could be what sets you apart, that you picked something to improve on that was on content and another on delivery. If you're in a contest and all of you picked out the same things from the speaker, the judges will be looking out for someone who was able to pick one from both categories. Again, I said include the audience in the evaluation, especially on the why, so that the audience is part of your evaluation and they feel engaged. Prior, you can have quotes and transitions and these whys already prepared in advance, so that as you give your evaluation, you're able to quickly be able to merge the what and the how with your why. Again, if you find yourself evaluating a seasoned speaker, evaluate the speech, not the person. And finally, practice, practice, practice. The only way to get better is to practice, practice. I like to include this slide on timing because sometimes we lose track of timing when doing evaluations. Do your introduction in 30 seconds. Highlight the strengths in 1 minute. Highlight the recommendations in 1 minute, 15 seconds. By this time, you are at the 2 minute, 45-second mark and give your summary in 15 seconds. That way you utilize your full 3 minutes. So Toastmasters and guests, we've learned the importance of evaluations, the why, what to evaluate, where to evaluate, how to evaluate, specific evaluation techniques, and timing of the evaluations. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this. I can see there are some chats here. I see responses on words to use, balancing it out. I hope, Joseph, I have answered that. Will it get right? Did I miss the main points? There are no main points. Just pick out any of the items highlighted in the content or the delivery. Catherine, imposter syndrome, practice, practice, practice. The aspect of understanding the speech, then analyzing various aspects of the speech with emphatic, encouraging, and well-thought feedback. I believe I may have been able to answer that question. And Angelo said, I fear not being able to give impactful feedback, especially to the speaker. Remember, the rules remain the same, the content and the delivery and the practice. The time element, I see, Teresa, you've asked, I don't know whether that was a question, but I think I have given a highlight on how to handle the timing. And Brian said, I never considered an evaluation as a speech itself. It really is a speech in itself. And at district level, it's almost even a performance. And thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster and AD Brian Tendo.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lena Muturi, AD7, for this amazing speech that you have given us on how we can become better evaluators and elevate our evaluations. That was amazing. I like the content, the delivery, and the language that you have emphasized. Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished guests, we are running late, but we are almost at the tail end, and we are just about to begin our descent. I'd like to call upon the general evaluator. I hope I'm getting it right this time around. Thank you for the tips. To come on board and give us the reports by calling the other role takers to very quickly give us their reports. That's the timer and the R counter. And then the final, the GE's report as well. Please, General Evaluator Peter, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. TMOD. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome the grammarian who will give us a report. So Maureen, over to you.
Maureen, you're muted.
Yes, I see that now. Thank you, General Evaluator. So I'm glad to announce that we've used the day 8 times, which was great. And to be counted, you just can't say greet, greet, greet. It has to be properly placed in a sentence. So Joseph Kimotho twice, Brian Otiende thrice, Mikali once, and Joe Mukoko twice. So I was also to check on the outstanding words. It was amazing. I had words like success to significance. There are different books that have been referenced today, and there's Success to Significance by Lloyd Reeb, Business Secrets from the Bible, Rabbi Daniel Lapin, and Developing the Leader Within You by John C. Maxwell. Some outstanding words, I will not mention all of them. Shake up the status quo, foster creativity, financial acumen. Vision is your compass. Vision is the spark that ignites your entrepreneurial journey. Then there was the power of 3, when our speaker mentioned mindset, measure, and money. And there was also growth is gradual and success doesn't happen overnight. You don't learn by following rules. You do so by doing and falling over. That was by Richard Branson. Is your mindset set for entrepreneurship? I loved the wordplay there. Then Joel Baker said, vision serves as a guiding North Star, illuminating the path to success. So a few improper use. The word often is written with a T, but the T is silent. So we say often and we don't say often. Then instead of saying one of my challenges, you can say one of the challenges I faced. Then we don't say reflect off, we say reflect on. And then also pronouncing the word sees, it's sees, not says. Thank you very much. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Mr. GE. Okay, thank you so much, grammarian Maureen, for keeping us on our toes to make sure that we are using the language appropriately. I will now request our timer to very quickly give us how we have performed with the various role takers, how much time they have spent in their speaking. Over to you, timer.
Thank you, TMOD. GE, Table Topics Master. We only had one speaker of the day, Joseph Kimotho. He took 25 minutes, 27 seconds. His speech was supposed to take 18 minutes. He was over by a few minutes. Our evaluator, I am getting used to that. Our evaluator, Bethlehem Nasibu, took 1 minute, 58 seconds to deliver her evaluation of Joseph's speech. Table topics, Tracy Mamu, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Catherine Karaoke, 2 minutes, 13 seconds, and Job Courier, 2 minutes, 35 seconds. I forgot to take the microseconds. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joe, for that very timely report on our time usage in this meeting. I will now call on our R counter, Toastmaster George. Kindly take a minute to give us your report.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. My report will be a bit detailed. Most speakers were impeccable when it comes to filler sounds, and others were almost impeccable. Now, straight to my report. You had Toastmaster of the Day, Brian, you had Aso, then you repeated for there, and then I noticed you used okay while transiting from one section to the other. Timer Joe, you had a repeat of the word I shall flash. Then the grammarian had one arm. Then you repeated personal. Another other place you repeated you move, and also the word there. For the evaluator, Nesibu, I observe that your go-to filler sound is A, so you need to work on that. Then for the speaker, speaker one, Kimodo, you repeated a few words. My love dealing, and effectively. Then for Soraya, she didn't have any of those. During the table topics, Catherine had 3 arms and 2 airs. You repeated my. And then Job Courier had 1 R, and then repeated that had been, and another place I also noted you used yeah to mean that you concluded on what you were saying. Just need to give the Toastmaster of the Day back like you pass it back to the Toastmaster of the Day. For Lena Moturi, that was a good tip session. You had 1 arm, 1 air, and you repeated there for such a long presentation. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster George, for your report on our counter as an R counter. I will now take it back to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Peter. Kindly give us your overview evaluation of our meeting.
Thank you, Mr. TMOD. Apologies, my laptop went off. I'd ignored the notification on charging on the battery, so I ignored the notification. So sorry. So on my report, I started this evaluation way back before the meeting had started. So I noted that the meeting room was opened 11 minutes to time, and also the link was shared on time. Then the time that the meeting started 7 minutes late, which is within the tolerance. So also the note takers were introduced, and they had a chance to just sensitize the participants on their roles. And I'm used to attending some online meetings, which have some background interruptions. But for this meeting, during the prepared speech, there were some minimal background interruptions. which is a positive finding on my evaluation results. Then on the table topics master with the TMOD at least chose the participants who did not have some roles, which is recommended. And also on the something that I learned today as a general evaluator, is the TMOD explained very clearly what is the difference between inspiration and motivation. When we asked that question, I did not have an answer, but at least I have learned something, a difference between motivation and inspiration. Then on the prepared speech, at least I learned something. There's a business I started 3 months ago. And during the speech, I was asking myself, where will this company be in the next 5 years? Because based on that speech, 50% of business don't make it after 5 years. So that was very informative. And also on the tip session, I learned something about evaluation, regards to analytical content, recommendation, and summation. Maybe next time when there's a contest on evaluation, I might try and find out how I will perform based on that tip session. And as I had said earlier, I am an ISO auditor by profession. So I'll give you some areas of improvement where you can improve. First is timekeeping. The meeting was supposed to end at around 7:45, and it's around 8:05. So we are late by 20 minutes. And I believe that once you set timeline of a meeting, supposed to start at 7 supposed to start at 6 and end at 7:45, should stick within that timeline. Also, on another area of improvement with regard to the shared link. So I feel that when the organizers sent that link, they could have just given a statement that you are supposed to register. Because me, I'm used to links whereby you just click and you log in. So once I clicked on that link, it was not working. And the organizer stated that it's only the meeting ID it was working. So I feel that the organizer could have just given a clear statement on how you're supposed to log in. All in all, the meeting was impeccable, and I look forward to attending the next meeting of business dialogue, because I see myself the next 5 years as a business owner. And when I attend these meetings, I believe that I'll be given some information on how to run business and based on the experience of the members of this club. So thank you very much, and back to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Peter, for such an elaborate evaluation of our meeting. I will now transition to my closing remarks before I hand the meeting back to the presiding officer, who I believe is SA Joe Mukoko. My concluding remarks are as follows, picking it up from where Toastmaster Peter has left. How do you become a business person? I have 3 recommendations and suggestions. Number 1, become self-aware. Get to know who you are and what you have. Get to appreciate what your purpose is. Number 2, become a servant of the people. Have the needs of your clients at heart. And that is summarized by a statement by Zig Ziglar, who says, if you help people get what they want, they will definitely help you get what you want. It's like scratch my back, I scratch yours. Coach Joe, Mukoko, Coach Catherine Kariuki, I will be reaching out to you and see how best we can collaborate as we serve our audiences. Lastly, become a seller of your products and services. You cannot sell if you cannot communicate. Our investment in Toastmasters helps us to develop, hone, and sharpen our leadership and communication skills. And that will help you be able to sell your product, sell your service, whether it is in the office. Remember, I challenged us. Consider if you are employed, are you a business person in your place of work? If there's a technical service or skill that you are providing in exchange for a reward in the form of money that is called salary, are you a business person? Last but not least, I will say this. For you to become an effective business person, think about this statement. If people like you, they will listen to you. If you like me, you will listen to what I have to say. If I like you, Joe, I will give you an audience, a listening ear. However, if I trust you, that's the only way I can be able to trade with you and do business with you. Without much ado, it has been my absolute pleasure to serve as your Toastmaster of the day as I transition myself into becoming a business person. I look forward to joining Business Dialogues meetings in the future and learn alongside the Toastmasters and guests that congregate in this club. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening, and back to you, Presiding Officer, Toastmaster Joe Mukoko.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Brian. It was an honor for you to be our pilot, and it was great to be your first officer. And we have landed the plane. We're now on the ground. And I would like to hand controls to our airport authority and management, our president, Joseph Kimodo. And before I do that, President Kimodo, allow me to launch the poll for the table topics, then hand over to you to ensure that we go through immigration without any problems. And the winner of our table topics, the better table topic speaker of the day, can you see my screen, is Toastmaster Tracy Mamu. Tracy, congratulations. Thank you, Catherine, and thank you, Job, Toastmaster Catherine and Toastmaster Job, for participating. Mr. President, over to you.
Thank you very much, Joe, for taking up that section. Congratulations, Tracy, on your deserved better speaker, better table topic speaker of this evening at Business Dialogues. I wear the hat of the presidency of the club, not the speaker now, and I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you. Thank you very much for helping us and for enabling a successful meeting number 67 at Business Dialogues. We can give ourselves a lot of applause. We have participated, we have learned together, we have taken tips, we have gotten speaking opportunities, we have had an opportunity to undertake our projects, and most importantly, we have had a fellowship. Thank you so much, our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Brian Otiende. And yes, becoming a DTM is within sight. Thank you for the exquisite delivery, your direction in the meeting, and great tips that you have shared with us. It was really a learning opportunity, and you made it a really absolute delight. You also kept us so engaged throughout the time. So allow me to just appreciate everyone. Thank you, Joe, for wearing many hats. And thank you, everybody, even for your patience, even as we have surpassed the time, and for coming to Business Dialogues. Our next meeting will be on the 23rd of this month. It will be an in-person meeting, and it will be special. It will be an open house. It is a day when we open up to guests and to learn more about Toastmasters. Just like we have learned today, we are going to learn more about Toastmasters, and we are going to give our guests an opportunity to come to the club and to learn more about Business Dialogue. So mark this date, and you are so welcome. Lastly is to urge those who have not renewed their membership that the new cycle we have just started, the October to March cycle, and it is most desirable that we start off together with you so that you can be able to undertake your projects and make good use of your investment. School fees that we have paid, that we make sure that we use them well. I want to really thank you, and I had some. There was some request for some quotes over there. TMOD. I hope you have been able to address, and our members are delighted about that. I can see that. Thank you so much, and I want to declare this meeting number 67 adjourned, and hope to see you soon on 23rd at our open house. Thank you, and have a great evening. Thank you so much, our guests from other clubs. Thank you, guests who attended: Mitchell, Teresa, Catherine. There was also an Elizabeth karaoke, and Daniel. Thank you so much for visiting us. You can reach out to us, and be sure that we'll also reach out to you, because we want more members, and we are happy about the fellowship, even with the visiting Toastmasters. Divisional Director Lena, thank you so much for visiting us. Great evening to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Bye. Good evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Good evening.
Special appreciations to